If you have under 1000 PR, then this video is for you, because I'm going to be going over 5 of the things that you're doing wrong that are destroying your placements in tournaments. But before we start the video, I just need to let you know, if you can fix these 5 mistakes, by the end of next season, you can guarantee yourself 1k PR. So to start things off, if you're under 1k PR, I can guarantee you that your team chemistry is absolutely garbage, or it's just cooked. So what I mean by this is, if your chemistry is bad, you need to be communicating with each other. For example, if you're not speaking to your team throughout the tournament, and you're just staying silent, letting them do all the work, then you're really holding the team back. You need to be the one who's giving the good call outs and making the team feel confident playing around you. And if you're not doing this while fighting, and you're just staying quiet, your team could feel awkward while they're fighting, and this could make them panic and lose more fights. So try and maintain that good chemistry between your team. And what I mean by your chemistry is cooked, I have experienced this myself with past trios, is your team just gets on too well. And what I mean by this is, you and your trio say you're going to lock in at the beginning of the tournament, and by the 3rd game, you're already trolling each other, calling each other names. That is just ruining your potential for that game. So if this applies to you, then you really need to speak with your trio and tell them the chemistry needs to calm down a little bit, because you don't see pro players with this type of chemistry. Now, one of the next mistakes that you do is probably not even something that you notice, and this is practicing the things you're already good at. So for example, you might get on and practice every day in the same piece control maps, the same aim training maps, and you might be doing the same things every day. And this is something you should not be doing, because if you're practicing your piece control in the same map every day, you're going to know what you're coming up against, and you're going to be able to master this very, very easily. So if this is you, what I want you to do is put yourself outside of your comfort zone. For example, play piece control maps that you've never played before, because every map is different. You're going to be learning new drills every time you play a new map, and by doing this, you're going to learn to piece your opponents in different ways, and this will help massively with your piece in game. So finding out new ways to practice is definitely the way to go if you want to improve. And the same thing goes for 1v1 PGs as well. If you're the type of person who grinds out 1v1s to improve, then you need to be PGing a range of people. And what I would really recommend is playing tokens, because if you play tokens 99% of the time, if you're under 1k PR, the players you go against are going to be much better than you. And by going against these types of people, you're going to learn how to play and fight against really good players. And if you lose the token, you can even go into replays and watch how they killed you to try and learn how to play like them. And in my opinion, tokens is probably one of the best ways to improve. Now we'll be moving on to scrims. If you as a solo or your trio want to improve, then you need to be playing as many scrims as possible. And as much as I want to say open scrims aren't that good practice, if you play some open scrims, for example, if you play noble open scrims for quite a while, you will get invites to the higher division scrims where your practice will be much, much better. And by playing scrims, you're going to learn how to play in high elo lobbies in tournaments the right way. And in the scrim, you'll be learning how you can take surge properly, how you can rotate early game, mid game and end game without dying, the best ways to take high in end game, and how you can play as a perfect team throughout the whole game. And if you die in the scrim, I want you to write down how you died and think, how can I fix that in the future? And you might not like this, but always blame yourself for dying and not your team, and think, what could you have done to stop that from happening? Now this thing is probably holding you back the most, and that is not being confident throughout the game and panicking in fights. Now if you're not confident throughout a tournament, then you can say goodbye to a good placement in that tournament, because if you're not confident, you're not going to play well at all. You and your team need to be trying to make each other confident and play well in fights. And as hard as it may seem, try and play the tournament like you don't care. And by this, I don't mean jump in someone's box 50-50 like you don't care. All I mean is stop overthinking it and just try and play it like it's a normal game of Fortnite. This will be hard for a lot of you to do, but if you can get past that being nervous in fights and not being confident throughout the game, then your placements are going to improve massively. Now the final thing that will really boost your placements in tournaments is finishing fights as quickly as possible. You want to make sure you're finishing the fight as quickly as you can. And by this, I still don't mean jumping in the box and going for a 50-50, because this is not the way you should be playing. What I mean by this is that you should always be keeping track of the opponent throughout the fight and be constantly thinking of ways how you could get a good angle to get a good amount of damage off the opponent. And once you manage to do this, the opponent is going to start panicking, and then you can start applying pressure, which is going to destroy their confidence, giving you an easy kill. And if you can do this throughout the whole tournament, then your placements are going to be so much better than before. As I said at the beginning of the video guys, if you manage to work on these 5 things, you can guarantee yourself 1k PR by the end of next season. So make sure if you truly want to improve, you're working on these 5 things. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.